Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the Centrovert. And the fragrance we have today is another value for money purchase. And the fragrance house is Cerruti. Cerruti, and the name of the fragrance is 1881 Bella Notte. All right, and so let me just say off the bat, in terms of cost, this is an eau de, let me see that here. It's an eau de toilette. It's 4.2 ounces or 125 milliliters. And what I paid for this, okay, what I paid for this was pretty, obviously, for the fragrance, it was a pretty good deal. Let me just pull up that price for you here, and also at the same time I'm gonna show you the notes. So let me pull up the notes for you here as well. Yeah, so I believe I paid around like 25 Canadian dollars for this. So for obviously 125 milliliter, that's obviously a very very good deal. So in terms of the scent now, let me just show you first. Okay, well first the bottle presentation, right? So if you look at the cap here, it's it's a plastic. It's not metal. It's pretty. It's not light, but it's not heavy either. It's clearly a plastic cap, and yeah, it's not. It doesn't securely fit, right? So you can't. It's not safe to hold it by the cap. It'll fall off. So that's another thing to make sure you note. And in terms of the sprayer for this, man, is really good. Yeah, so if you can see that thing shoots the distance. Yeah, and it's a wide, like, yeah, that's a wide shot, right? Okay, so in terms of the smell now, I wasn't, when I went on to Fragrantica, okay, to do research on this fragrance, the only reason why I came about this fragrance was because I was looking into a Mercedes Benz fragrance called Infinite Spicy, okay? And that fragrance, Infinite Spicy, the perfumer for that fragrance is actually the same perfumer behind this fragrance, which is Olivier Cresp. Okay, so obviously anybody who is decently versed in the fragrance game knows who Olivier Cresp is, or at least has wittingly or unwittingly tried some of his well-known fragrances in the past, like Versace Mano Fresh or Black XS. But he made Infinite Spicy by Mercedes Benz, and that fragrance, has a very, it's the main accord for that fragrance is warm spicy. And the main accord for this fragrance, okay, when you go for Fragrantica, the main accord for this is also warm spicy. Now I have not gotten my nose on Infinite Spicy, the Mercedes Benz fragrance, but when I was reading some of the reviews for this on Fragrantica, they mentioned that this is very much in line with Infinite Spicy, but also very much in line with a respected niche fragrance in the game called Straight to Heaven by Kilian. So I had to say that if you wanted to get an alternative for Kilian's Straight to Heaven, this scent right here, Bella Notte by Cerruti, is pretty much the good option in terms of getting a cheap alternative, right? An inexpensive alternative, because the quality of this, number one, is very good. There's no alcohol burn off, and as soon as you spray it, you're getting that warm spiciness right away. And in terms of like the smell, like I said, this is very much in line with Kilian Straight to Heaven. It's also mentioned that it's very similar to Infinite Spicy. Like I said, I can't speak to Infinite Spicy, I've never smelled that, but in terms of Straight to Heaven by Kilian, it's similar in the sense that it has that same kind of, warm warm kind of spiciness, right? It's the cedar and almost like a rum. And even though there's no rum here in the notes for this fragrance, it goes along the same lines of that kind of warm cedar wood smell with a hint of rum, and maybe not the dried fruits. That's where Kilian Straight to Heaven kind of differs. It has kind of that dried fruit note that kind of creates more of a slight citrusy or slight kind of sweeter edge, whereas this kind of stays warm and spicy throughout. Now the main note, if you're going for Grantica, that has been voted as the most noticeable is the Szechuan pepper, and I agree, because this fragrance, when you go in for Grantica and it shows that warm spicy is the main accord for this fragrance, it is not a joke. Literally, I've sprayed this fragrance in a room. I walked out of the room, came back in, and you could literally feel, sense in the air where you spray the fragrance that it actually increases the temperature in the air, right? It actually does create a bit of a warm spiciness in the air. So as a result of that, I wouldn't say that you would want to wear this fragrance in the summer. Maybe you could pull it off in the spring, but definitely this is more geared towards fall and winter wear. It is a bit of a thicker, not a thick fragrance, but it definitely is a fragrance that creates a bit of a warm, spicy aura around you. So I don't know if you'd be able to pull this off comfortably in the workplace, because you might piss people off around you. But definitely if you're going for a more serious dressed up event, or if you're going out for the evening, like a clubbing fragrance, this actually would do. But in terms of like a more of a layman's description of what this thing smells like, to me, I feel like this is like a log of wood, right? A fresh log of wood right after it's rained, okay? And then with that kind of wet or damp piece of wood, you dip it into like liquor or rum, okay? Then you pull it out of that rum, and then that combination of that fresh piece of wood that's damp with wetness from the rum and the rain, and then you sprinkle some pepper on it, right? Whether it's black pepper or Szechuan pepper, you just sprinkle pepper on that piece of wood. You smell that, that's what you get in this, right? So it's clearly meant to be for cold weather wear, but it's for the price. I have to admit that this is a fragrance that it's hard to come by for a price like that. For what, 25 bucks Canadian for 125 milliliter, and you're getting a fragrance that is, an alternative to a niche fragrance that costs what, probably 200 plus. Yeah, this is definitely a good deal. Like in terms of age group, the type of person that this would be suited to would be probably someone in their 30s and up. This is not a young man scent, okay? This is not a scent for someone in school, okay? This is a scent for someone who's in their 30s and up, and someone who dresses like business casual at the minimum, I would say. Okay, like you definitely have to have some hair, okay, some hair on your chest in order to feel like fully confident wearing this fragrance, because this is really a man's scent. Definitely you will be noticed, but in terms of longevity, yeah, this didn't last. We're talking about 12 hours for sure with this fragrance, okay? So that's all I'm gonna say for now. I mean, if you're gonna look at fragrances that are at a cheaper and expensive alternative to Kilian Straight to Heaven, this would be a good choice, okay? 1881 Bella Notte by Cerruti. Like, comment, subscribe, holla back.